Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Eagle's Nest, where you may be in it, but you are coming out soaring. I am so excited this evening to have my special guest in the Eagle's Nest. Now, everybody know how I do it here in the Eagle's Nest. I don't introduce my guests, even though I can introduce them, but I want them to take the time to introduce themselves in their own special way. So, Sonya, will you take a moment and introduce yourself to our lovely audience on tonight?
I will. My name is Sonya Graham. I am one of her cousins, and I am so elated to be here tonight to help support this mission along the way.
Now, see that they all they want to do is just tell you their name. I said introduce them yourself. So introduce yourself.
Okay.
What do you do? What are some things about Sonya that some people may not know, that if they were looking at it and saying like, I didn't know Sonya did that. I didn't know Sonya was involved in that. Let the people have an idea who you are.
Well, my name is Sonya Graham once again, and I am a travel registered nurse. I was a respiratory therapist before then. I am from Meridian, Mississippi, and I'm born and raised here. I'm homegrown.
Hey.
But now I travel from here and there, and that's what I'm doing right now. I have 5 beautiful, beautiful children. They're all grown, so it's just me, an empty nester. No pups or anything like that. So no pups.
No pups.
No pups. But I am thinking about getting one.
Okay, all right. Let's bring in the pups.
I'm thinking
now.
about getting one, but yes, I am from Meridian, and I'm here to
All right,
have
yeah.
this conversation.
Well, I'm so glad that you took a moment out of your busy schedule from
You're
being up and down the
welcome.
road, coming in and how they say, have a chitter chat
Yeah, that's
with me
right.
this evening here in the Eagle's Nest. Now, Sonya, now when you was just introducing yourself, you said that you are a travel registered nurse.
Mhm.
You are a mom of 5 kids.
Mhm.
You was a respiratory therapist, so you went to school for respiratory therapist. Then you went to school to be a nurse, and then on top of that, while you was doing that, you was a single parent.
Single parent. That's right.
Now, somebody out there who's a single mom, looking at everything that they feel like they trying to accomplish, feeling like, I don't know if I can accomplish this. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go to school. I got these kids.
Mhm.
I know that this is something, a desire that I have to go back to school to get this career. And they may be feeling like this may not be something that's possible for me to do. But tell them that being a single mom does not stop you from being able to accomplish anything.
It does not. It does not. I can remember this was back in the 90s. And at that time, I had 3 children.
Whoa.
I had 3 children, and I was working a paycheck to paycheck job. But the Lord saw why I had 2 more.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that, but it was a struggle. It was a mission, and I woke up one day, I can remember, with my 5th child. I had my tubes tied. I was still wasn't healed from it. And I said, you know what, Lord? I said, I've got to do something. I woke up. My oldest child was 9 years old at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my friends and I were talking on the phone. And she was like, what you doing? You know how we all talk. What you doing? I said, girl, I'm about to go and sign up for school. She said, wait on me. I'm going to. So we went, and she held my hand. And I walked up to that building. I signed up for school, and I didn't stop. My children, they were small. They were little kids. My like I said, I have 5. And my baby, she was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
But I
you
did
had
not
a
let it stop me.
determination.
I had that determination.
And so that's, a lot of times that we fail to realize sometimes when is our purpose and when is it something that we're really drawn to and we really have a desire to do. It's almost like the things that we think is a hindrance, it's really not a hindrance. It's almost like it's a push. It's almost like it's something that, like we say a lot of time, that gets us going, a motivation for us to accomplish the things that we're trying to accomplish. Because even even though sometimes we say our kids are small, they're still watching us.
They're watching.
They're watching us. They're paying attention to everything that we're doing. It's almost like it shapes them. They say, well, my mom was a single mother, and she went to school, and then she didn't just stop at respiratory therapy. She went back and got her nursing. Yes. So if I apply myself and do whatever, I can do just like my mom.
I can do the same. And they have. And so your children, when they are small, they are watching. You have to have the compellment.
Oh, that's a good one.
You have to compel.
Now, you know, I know your name's Sonya, but I'm going to wind up calling you Cena.
Come on. Come on. Let's
now, you look, you know, I can't, and you probably going to wind up not saying no Cena. You probably wind up saying what? Nieces. So we're going to make this real. We're going to make this real. So, hey.
Let's make this real.
Let's make this
real. Know, because I was compelled.
Mm-hmm.
I was driven. And I didn't want to just stop right there. I had these 5 little children who depended on me. So I had to say, you know, I want them to go to school and say, my mom is A. My mom is A. So I had, you know, to push and say, okay, I need to set this example for them.
Right.
I've had friends who, you know, they've just felt like, you know, not just friends, just people in the, you know, in general who has come up and asked me, how did you do it? I said, because I was driven for it. I'm hungry for it. So I had to be fed that. And so in other words, the Lord, he has been my platform. That he is who I have stepped on the whole way from a kid, from things I've gone through as a child. You know, my childhood wasn't a gravy train. You know, it wasn't like a spoon-fed childhood. Right. You know, I had a tough childhood, but you know, my mom, we all came out, we overcame that. But I've always put God first, and whatever decision, whatever I knew I had to make, the decisions I had to make in life, I had to put him first.
Now that's another thing that the point that you brought out, because a lot of times when we're going through situations in our lives that stems from our childhood, a lot of times we think in the moment, if our childhood is not as good as we think it is, we think that's a strike against us from going out and accomplishing the things that we have a desire to accomplish. And we're seeing that just because you may have had a bad childhood, some people think it's bad, but it really wasn't bad, because some things were that happened was to build you.
It was a lesson.
Right. And some things that, you know, we say God doesn't know, he doesn't allow it to come or whatever, but he will use it to get us to where he wants us to be. And a lot of times, you know, a lot of people use their childhood or things that happened to them in their childhood as an excuse to not to move forward, as an excuse as to not to do what God may have purpose for them to do. And I'm so glad that the things that happened in your childhood, you didn't allow those things to hinder you. You didn't allow those things to block you. You didn't allow those things to be an excuse for you not going on and doing what it is that you felt in your heart to do. Because like I said, a lot of times, you know, when things happen to us in our childhood, they scar us for life. Yeah. And then sometimes it takes us as adults. We have some people who are adults who still dealing with issues from their childhood, and they can't be productive in their adulthood. But looking at you, who would have known that any of the things that you went through your childhood, you went through? Yeah. Because you didn't let that define you.
That's right. It does not define you. You know, and I'm going to go back to, I've always said, Lord, you know, what's my purpose? What do you need me to do? Since I was a child, what do you want me to do? And it's always been to like motivate.
Right.
To motivate people, to be a propeller for them.
I like
you know, to be a propeller. And I love allowing him to utilize me to show people, hey, look what she went through. Look what she went through. She can do it. I can do it. She did it.
Right.
I can do that.
And that's what, a lot of times people need is just that little bit of encouragement to let them know that,
be bold. Be bold.
That's a good word.
Be bold and just let it fly. Just get out, do it. Don't say, well, I don't have enough money to do that. Or I can't do that right now. I have my children, I can't do it. Or like I said, childhood, oh well, I can't do it. Oh, I went through this, I'm just so depressed. No. You can do it. Find a coping. What copes
now,
you?
That's good.
Music therapy.
Good. That's
reading. Good. I did all of those things. You're going to have challenges. You're going to have your trials and tribulations. But be prepared. But to be prepared, you have to allow the Lord to be within you. And he has to shine through you.
That's the
you
key
got to
part.
let him be your light. Because to be in that darkness, he'll bring you out of that darkness. He'll bring you out. And it's a stage. It's stages of life, stages of development where you have to go to get to where you want to be. But you have to push. Pray until something happens.
Girl, tell them again.
Pray until something happens. Push. Don't stop. Don't stop until you get to where you want to be.
Like when you have the babies. Just think about when you're giving birth to your child and you're going through the birthing process. They tell you to push. Now, what happens if you don't push? That baby ain't going nowhere. And so you have to push that baby out. And it's a painful process.
That's right.
But you still,
that's right.
You got to push that baby out. And so sometimes in life, we're going through situations that are painful, but we still got to push it out. You got to push past whatever it is until you get to your destination, until you get to what it is that you're trying to accomplish in life. Now, something you were saying a few minutes ago that was really, really key to me that I never really thought about it. When you say coping, the different ways that people can cope with different things that they're dealing with. Like you said, the music therapy. And I know a lot of times people like to paint, and some people like to journal and different things like that. And like you said, you gotta find an outlet to let it out. Because if you don't find an outlet to let it out, now that's the place. That's when you find yourself being depressed. And that's when you find yourself being suicidal. And that's when you find yourself being in a very, very low place when you don't allow yourself to let it out. And that's what I love what you said about the coping, because a lot of times we don't want to necessarily do what we know that we need to do in order to cope, because it's so easy to just stay stuck. It's so easy for us to stay in that place where we feel like, oh, woe is me, my life is like this, and I'm not gonna achieve nothing. My mama didn't do anything, my daddy didn't do anything, my sister,
Even if someone is telling you you'll never be anything, you won't be anything. Oh, yes, you will. Yes, you will.
Because it's left up to you.
It's left up to you. You can change that. Change anything you want to. You can push for that and accomplish in a mighty way.
Because we are the narrators of our story.
That's right.
So if I want chapter 1, this happened to me in chapter 1. Chapter 1, I was born. Then I get to chapter 2, I was growing up. And then this happened to me. Somebody touched me inappropriately. But that's chapter 2. You got some more chapters to go through.
Some more chapters.
So chapter 3 goes to where I went through and I dealt with that situation. I overcame that situation. All right, chapter 4. So we building upon each chapter, because life does not stop at chapter 1.
It does not.
We have to keep going.
It's a continuation.
Hey.
It's a continuation.
And the book ain't over until we ain't seen it.
Till it's over.
And that's when we close our eyes.
That's when we close our eyes.
And until then, we got some more chapters to do.
You still got some more.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. So somebody out there needs to realize you may be in chapter 2, 3, 4, 5 of your life, but you are not at the end of the book, because your eyes still are open and you still here and you still doing what it is. So it's not that your life is over. You still have time, because your life is a book. And so you may be whatever chapter you in, keep turning the pages, because there's coming another chapter. So this, like how they say, like you did with your life, you flipped up chapters, girl.
I flipped them, and I'm gonna tell you, this is a personal one, and it happened to me. This is a testimonial one.
Oh,
okay. This is all of it is testimony, but this one is a deep testimonial one.
Oh.
So, I had a domestic situation that happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was gone, but guess what? I pushed through it.
Yes.
I pushed through it. I spoke to the Lord the whole way. Lord, keep me. Keep me. He's going to give you what you ask for. It may not be right then. It may not be tomorrow, but he's going to give it to you. But he gave it to me right on time. And I can remember being in the tunnel. And I know I was in a tunnel. Oh, I know I was in a tunnel because everything was like this. And it was a bright light at the end. So I saw the light. And that is, you hear of the mist or everyone saying
that there's a
they
light.
saw the light. Well, guess what? I'm here to say it's not a myth.
Wow.
I saw that light. I'm in the tunnel. I was echoing. I was talking to Jesus. And at the end of the tunnel, it wasn't any of my family members or anything.
Wow.
But it was Jesus. At the end of my tunnel.
I seen him.
That
just gave me chills.
I asked him, Lord, please wake me up. Wake me up. I feel like I'm having a nightmare. I'm hurting so bad. Wow. And he and I had that conversation in that tunnel. But I asked him to wake me up. And I was pushing. I was praying. Even when it happened to me, I just slow walked and said, okay, Lord, I know you got me. I didn't panic or anything because I know he had me. Mm-hmm. He told me he was going to wake me up. And I'm sitting here talking to you today and giving testimony to your audience, your lovely audience.
And that right there in itself lets you know that there's still purpose.
It's a purpose.
There's still work that you have to do because he allowed you. Because he didn't have to, even though you said, Lord, let me. He didn't have to. But the thing of it is, that alone lets you know that there's still purpose. There's still more to your life that you have to do, you have to accomplish because he allows you to come back for a purpose. Because a lot of people that may go through, we've seen it.
Yeah.
That have went through domestic situations, don't make it.
They don't make it.
And the thing of it is, you went through your situation and then you're still here.
I'm still here.
You're still here to tell the story. You're still here to tell people that it's not a myth that when you cross over, that lets you know that you were heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
That alone in itself.
I'm living
right. Yeah. So it like if somebody say, well, you did this, and I had people like to tell people, you had children, you wasn't married, you had this and whatever, you ain't, you did this, and the Lord, that lets you know that your life, God evidently was pleased with.
Right.
So when you did have that moment when you was your body was still here, but that was your spirit.
Yes.
That you was going through the tunnel and you saw the light and you said you saw Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Just think about it. If you weren't living your life the way you wanted to live, I don't think you would have saw Jesus.
I would have saw Jesus.
And I don't think, it would have been the question about let me wake up, because that person would be like, no, you don't finish.
That's
you don't finish. Yeah, you don't finish.
He didn't see it that way.
But he didn't see it that way, and he allows you to come back because there is someone who just needs to hear that it doesn't, whatever, you can be going through a situation that seems like it's so hopeless. You can be going through a situation that you don't feel like you can get out of, or that you will be able to get out of, or you'll be able to live through. But you're here to tell people that just because you may have went through it doesn't mean that that's the end of your story.
Right.
Doesn't mean that God doesn't have a purpose for you.
Right.
Because we're told so much that a lot of people can't see God as being a loving God, because we make people feel like God is this mean person. If you mess up or whatever, he doesn't allow you to go on and do things. But you're sitting here a living, breathing testimony to let them know that God is a merciful God.
Oh.
God gives us second chances. God, and then the thing about it, he hears our prayers.
He hears our prayers. And he heard it. And he hear what you pray to him, he hear you.
Right.
He hears your prayers. He will answer your prayers. He will answer them. Do not give up. Don't give up hope. Keep pushing. Whatever goals you have in life, push for them. Your goals will come to pass. Ask the Lord for them. Ask Him for those goals.
Right.
I've always did that, and that's what I've always lived my life by, and I still do today. Even after that, now is, when I had my 5 children out of wedlock, that was repentment time. I repented that. I thank Him for them, but it could be repentful. He is a merciful God. His grace and His mercy. Oh my God. Woo, His grace and mercy.
Oh, for grace. Oh, for grace.
Oh,
for grace. Oh, for grace.
And another ironic thing about that is this is just me putting it together. My middle name is Gracina. And those first few letters are grace. So I know, and not just me, but even for the audience, whoever needs to hear this, you can accomplish whatever goal you want. Whatever goal you want to do, no matter how difficult or how hard it is, push through it.
Yes.
Push through it. Push through it. Don't give up. Never, never give up.
Yes.
Because the Lord hears you. He hears your prayers. And He will answer them. And He will bring you through. That storm, smile through that storm. Smile through it. A smile is good for the attire. Smile through that storm. Because the faith, yes. Because that faith, when you smile through that storm, you're letting the Lord know, Lord, I got faith in you. Thank you, Lord, for this grace. Thank you for this mercy. Thank you, Lord.
Yes.
Confess it boldly. And let Him know, I am your child. I'm your child. Fill me up, Lord. Fill me up with more of me and less of with more of you and less of me.
He said, put me in remembrance of my words.
That's right.
Put Him in remembrance of His word. So when we're going through something, we put Him in remembrance of His word. And that's what God moves on. He moves on His word. That's why He said His word won't return to Him void, because He moves on His word. Exactly. There's a lot of things that we say God will move, and we say God please move, and we doing all that. But like you said, it's our faith.
The size of a mustard seed.
And that's not much. That's just little.
Just that little bit tiny pinpoint.
That's it.
That's all you need.
And then a move of what? A whole mountain. A whole mountain.
That mountain is just gonna part. The seeds are gonna part. You're gonna be able to do it. You can do it. A whole mountain.
And then when you was talking about, your situation, that your testimony, I remember it just as well as you, because when it happened and everything. But then you look at it, how every person was in place. The surgeon, the nurses, the staff. And that right there lets you know that God was in control of that situation. The moment, everything that took place, everything that happened, because the people who needed to be there were there.
They were there. He already knew.
They were there.
Look. I had myself getting ready, because you can feel, like I said, He take care of His people.
That's the Holy Spirit.
Yes. And so when that happened at 9:00 that night, 8:50 p.m., the whole surgeon team was at that hospital.
And
that does not happen. Anyone who works healthcare knows. They are gone. It was a Thursday night. They're gone. They are gone, long gone home.
Yeah, because Friday. Most of them off on Friday.
Right.
Unless it's a scheduled. Yeah.
So everyone was there, including the surgeon, was still there. So the Lord knew that He needed to cover me. He kept me covered. He kept my family covered, But I pushed through that. I pushed through it.
And that's the God that we serve, because He wanted you to know that you're my child.
I'm his child. Mm-hmm.
You know, because the thing that you said and that I've taken from just sitting here listening to you talk, you've had conversations with him.
Oh,
you sit
often.
and you talk with him.
Often.
And then he's like, okay, this is my child.
Mm-hmm.
She sits, she talks with me. She comes to me when she has concerns.
Mm-hmm.
She comes to me when there's something going on in her life. Mm-hmm. So I'm already ahead of her in her life, knowing what's finna come, but I'm gonna make sure that everything is in path, because she has a destination, just like you got a destination.
That's right.
She has a destination, and I need for her to get to her destination. Now, what happened wasn't intended, but even though it happened, I want her to know that I still have a destination for her. I still have something that I need for her to do. I still have a plan. I still have a purpose. And this may have been, how they say, it may have been what we call it, a detour or a stop, well, not a stop, but a halt for a second. A hold, like we can say, like a hold up for a second.
Yeah.
But it was just for a second.
Yeah.
And then God said, okay, now, let's hit the road running.
Let's get back to work.
And now what you doing now?
Let's get back to work.
You're not just located.
Right.
He got you traveling, what? Here, this week you may be here.
Yeah.
Planting the seed.
Mm-hmm.
This week, this month you may be over here. What? Planting the seed.
That's right.
This time you may be over here doing what?
Planting the seed. That's right.
So the light that he allows you to see that's now in you, what are you doing? Everywhere you go, you dropping off that light.
They see that light. They see that light. So, you can do it too. Just allow him in. Ask him to fill you up. Fill you up with him. Less of you. I promise you. I promise you, you won't go wrong. Never give up hope. Whatever you're going through, say, Lord, I know you got me. I know you got me, Lord. Whatever bills you need paid, Lord, I know, that light bill, they say disconnect. Oh my God. But guess what? He got that light bill right on time, baby. He's going to take care of you. 360. He's going to take care of your whole self.
360.
Things we go through are for lessons. It's for us to learn from. So it's not, oh Lord, why you punish me? No. He's not punishing you. Because the things that we go through are to share, just like how I'm sharing this with you. You can do it. Don't give up hope. Coping, music therapy, reading, journaling. If you don't have someone who you can trust and talk to, you can talk with him for one.
That's the key thing.
And also you can write it down. Get you a journal. Write it. Start from the beginning. Write it. Write your autobiography about yourself. Write it. I've been doing this. And it helps. And it can help you as well. It can help you.
Because it's therapy.
It's therapy.
It's therapy.
For free. I mean, it's okay to pay for it.
Oh yeah, because sometimes you may need that little money, but it's like that medicine, but at the same time, that is still therapeutic to write it out, because it's like you're getting it out of you.
Right.
Because bitterness can sit in, resentment can sit in, unforgiveness can sit in, and then you almost in a place you're worse off than where you were before anything happened to you. But when you get all that out of you, then you're able to keep going. Yeah, because you're not, and then that make you sick. A lot of time when we holding stuff in, the trauma and different things that has happened, it messes with your body, and it causes your body to be off kilter. I say out of balance. Kind of like, that's why a lot of people have high blood pressure, arthritis, and all that stuff, because that stuff is sitting on the inside of you, building up, because you don't want to release it. And then when you release it, it's almost like you get that fresh wind, or you get that how they say, that sense of balance to yourself. Like when you said that weights are lifted.
Meditation.
You know how it is sometimes when you don't have a long day, you come in, you just go, oh.
That's it. That is
so sometimes when things happen, you need to go, oh.
That's it.
You just go, do that part and just go, oh. Now, you've already taken the time and you've already sit here and you share with people, different things. But what I want you to do is I always leave this opportunity for my guests to sit down and have a moment where they minister to a person one-on-one. And we talked, earlier, about how our grandmother, my mom and everything, they would share scriptures with us, different things like that for us to hold on to, for us to grab a hold to, and to take into our adult lives, into our lives. That when things do come up, when things do happen in our life, we have that foundation that we can fall back on, that we can rely upon, and we're able to stand on things that come in our lives that, sometimes things happen that is unexpected.
Yeah.
But when it happens to us unexpectedly, because we have that foundation that's been put on the inside of us from our parents, our grandparents, and different stuff, we're able to reflect back on some things that keep us going, the things that keep us motivated, the things that keep us grounded, the things that keep us rooted. So what I want you to do in your own way, however way, if it's a prayer, however way that you are led at this moment, to minister to someone, because there's someone who's going through being a single mother and trying to figure out, how am I going to accomplish my goal? I want to go to school, but I just don't see it. I got bills, I got these kids, and I just don't see it. There's somebody out there, not even just a woman, man, that has dealt with some type of domestic situation, and they're feeling like, that's this is it for me. This is the only thing that I know. This is whatever. I don't know anything else to do, how to cope, or how to see myself coming out, or come into a place where I can still move forward. And then the thing about it is, God has opened the door for you to go and share your life. Your life, not necessarily your story, but your life. That He gave you a second chance. And then, like you said, it's not a myth, because a lot of people think that it's a myth, that when you leave here, you just a lot of people think it's a myth.
It's real. It's
and
real.
So just take a moment in your own way and just minister your own way to someone, and speak into someone's life, and let them know that.
Well, like we said, like Grandma used to say, she have always, and I should, like I said, I should know these scriptures all the way down. But I do know, like Psalm 35, she would always tell me to read. I would go back and read that, that's the one with fret not your evildoers. Psalm 37, Psalm 91. And actually, when I leave here, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna grab those scriptures and read those. But to let you guys know, because this is what our grandma did. She have always, even when I was a teenager, those were 3 scriptures that chapters of the Bible that she has always told me to read when I had trouble. And I did. And during those times, actually, I would go back, but I read the first few, and I get that feeding that I need from them. And I'm like, okay, thank you. Grandma, I know you're crying,
Yeah.
because she was, Cena, did you read your Bible? Cena, did you read your Bible? But, whatever.
They was big on that.
That was very big. And don't sit up and say, no, ma'am, I didn't.
But see, I ain't that, would say to us, did you read your Bible? And you'd be like, yeah. She said, no, you didn't.
No, you
she
didn't.
said, because if you read your Bible, you wouldn't be acting
Right?
like that.
Oh, I love her. I miss her so much. But, whatever situation you're going through, whether it's domestic, a dark place, that's a dark place within itself. But whatever dark place you're going through, bring God into it. Keep Him into the light with that. That's, like I said, I can't stress that enough. Keep Him within that place. Have Him first. He's going to take care of the rest. If it's anything as far as like you need to get out, get in touch with the proper people about that. Don't keep hushed about it. But also don't let them, if you're in an aggressive situation, don't let the aggressor know that you're speaking to other people about it. Keep it to yourself. Keep that part from that aggressor, but speak with someone else about what's going on. That was one thing that I did not do. I didn't speak with my family about it. I felt ashamed. I felt embarrassed that I was going through something like that. But no, don't keep quiet. You let someone know, someone you can trust know. They can, if you need help, you can call a hotline. Anything like that. It's things out here that you can do to get the proper help you need. As far as going to school, back to school, if you're in that situation, which I was there, just jump up and say, hey, don't give yourself any excuses or anything. Jump up and just say, I'm going to sign up for school. Whether it's online or going in person, sign up. But don't stop. Don't let anything deter you, and don't let it get in the way, because that's only the enemy trying to stop your fulfillment. You can be fulfilled, and just push. Just keep doing it. And that's what I did. I just pushed. I stretched myself through. My children watched me. They helped me study when they were younger. I would have them calling things back out. Okay, call this list out for me. I let them interact with me with that. So, but like I said, with that being said, you can push through whatever dark place that you're going through. You can do it. Don't say, no, I can't do it. You can do it. Be bold. Be brave. And just push through whatever that situation is. You can beat it. You can beat it. But don't let the enemy get in the way. Don't let it stop you. Smile. Keep pushing. Smile, keep pushing. Hey, I gotta do this. I gotta climb this mountain. But guess what? The Lord gives you the strength. He gives you the energy to climb that mountain. He's gonna move anything else in your way. He's gonna move that out of the way. I don't care how big it is. He will move that out of your way. You can do it. You can do it. Whatever accomplishment, whatever goal you set out to be, make that goal and keep pushing it and set that goal and accomplish it. You can do it. You can do it.
I like that. You can
do it. I tell anyone who, I have people, they tell me, oh, you're such a mentor. I don't set out to be a mentor, but I'm glad that the Lord utilized me. I'm a vessel to where I could be a mentor in His favor to anyone who needs it. Anyone who knows me know that's how. That's me.
Because you're willing.
I love it.
Because He'll use whoever is willing to be used of Him, and He'll use them. And that's the thing that I love about God, that He knows what He's doing in our lives. We may not understand it. We may not sometimes know the ins and the outs, because He ain't gonna tell you everything. But that's where the trust comes in. That's where the faith comes in. That we can trust and know that God is not going to. That's why I love Jeremiah 29:11. He said, for I know the thoughts and the plans that I have you, thoughts of peace and not of evil, but to bring you to an expected end. So whatever it is that God has for us, there is an expected end to it. And so as long as we're trusting in Him, long as we're relying on Him, long as we're like our grandmother taught us, standing in that word and everything, we know that we have an expected end, because like Jeremiah said, before we were born, before we were even formed in our mother's womb, God already had a plan for us, and He already had a purpose to it. Until we take our last breath, we have time to accomplish and do what it is that God has placed us here to do. So it doesn't matter what your situation looks like, no matter what you're going through, God has a plan. He has a purpose for it. Yeah, something may happen in your life that's a setback, but it doesn't have to be your stopping point. Because with every setback, there's a comeback.
That's right.
So we just need to get in that setback and say, okay, there's a comeback. And make your comeback stronger than your setback.
That's right.
And that's what you did, because you let your comeback be stronger than your setback.
That's right.
And then you're still going on. And like I said, you may find yourself in an eagle's nest, but you're coming out
strong.
You coming out soaring and strong
over
too.
here right
But
now.
you coming out and you soaring because the eagle takes their trials and whatever the storm. The eagle flies into the storm because the storm is what propels the winds. It just takes the eagle up and it just flies up.
Higher and higher, soaring. Like so
when you're going through your storm, don't run from it. How they say that the eagle do, the eagle flies straight into it. So you may find yourself in an eagle's nest. But remember one thing, you are coming out soaring. So Cena, Sonya,
yes.
Thank you for being here in the Eagles
Nest.
I have enjoyed talking to you. And my prayer is that someone was encouraged, someone was uplifted on this evening to know that if you push, pray until something happens, your setback can be your greatest comeback. So until the next time, this is Elder Sylvia and
Sonya Graham.
Barron
Graham.
Hey, give me all those names. Saying that you may be in it, but you're coming out soaring. Until the next time, bye-bye.